So before you get the NPC update for Project Zomboid, if you ever get it, I wanted to make this video about the state that the game is in right now and why it's so interesting to play right now. And I'm not talking about in the sort of gameplay style interesting, though that contributes a bit to what I'm talking about, but rather I'm talking about the sort of solo aspect of the game when you're playing single player. What I mean by this is how intentionally or unintentionally the game kind of allows you to have this sort of stoic reflection, since you're all alone and potentially the only survivor left alive when the whole world has been turned into zombies. Cause when you're forced to go at it alone, maybe at first if you're someone like me, for instance, you think, yeah, I'm a macho man, I don't need anyone else around to help me, I can do it all alone and I'll live all these zombies and survive on my own forever. Because it's mine. But here's the thing, from my experience, that attitude doesn't last that long. Maybe say for like a day or a couple of days in the game, because with the way Project Zomboid is set up now, it makes it so that the game slowly chips away at the sort of mentality that you have and grounds you in how realistic it would be. And I don't know if that would change if NPCs were added into the game and how it would affect that mentality, but how it is now will humble you to the world of Zomboid. You have to be fully attentive in the game and deliberate in everything you do in it. So I guess, you know, that's where the sort of genius lies in for the game, where the game forces you into a position where you have to accept the game's reality for what it is. You have to be able to understand the things that you can't control in order to survive longer in the game. We can't control the zombies the time when the power shuts off or when the water stops working, but what we can control though is how we prepare for these events when they happen and how we deal with them when they come. And I don't know about you, or whether I'm just looking too much into things, but to me that kind of feels in some ways stoic and the essence of stoicism. Focusing only on what's within your control and what you can do to deal with the circumstances. Every failure and death is just part of a cycle where most players keep coming back to the game, thinking and reflecting and starting again, just to try and do a little bit better, survive a little bit longer, have a strategy that works for them when they load up a new game after they die. And that kind of acceptance of failure and will to go through the same struggle again is why Project Zomboid more often than not feels way different than all these other zombie survival games out there. With the state that the game's in right now, with no NPCs and just you and the zombies and the occasional helicopter events and gunshot events, it's one of the most unique games I've ever played out there and experienced. Sometimes I feel that this loop teaches resilience and patience needed to survive uncertainty, and over time during your run, it feels, well for me, it feels as if I get too immersed into the game and project my own emotions onto my character. And all the loneliness of the game and paranoia gets amplified and feels 10 times more tense, and it's a real interesting feeling. I don't even know how to put it into words or explain it for you guys, but it kind of forces you to see how you handle extended isolation when all you have are just your thoughts and strategies and things trying to kill you out here. And this kind of ties into your sort of state of mind and how deliberate you have to be and having to deal with the consequences of the actions you take in the game, where consequences feel earned and not random. Like if you think hard enough after you've died, you can see where exactly you messed up or what you forgot to do, forgetting to barricade a window or being too cocky on a loot run and being underprepared for it. It's teaching you accountability for your actions, because there's no NPCs for you to blame or get mad at for causing your death. There's no side quest that can get you killed or distracted, so when you die it's all on you. And I really appreciate that about the game, because it feels so uniquely satisfying whenever you do manage to survive longer or do take a risk.
You need my DNA.
Or do take a risk and it actually pays off and feels so worth it. What else I also like is how the game shows the sort of importance and value of routines and habits, where they start to become a luxury in the game, because now you've been able to stay alive long enough to get a base and stay safe and have food and water and just rely on that routine to keep you alive for the next day. And then that routine you built in the game sort of becomes your safe space. After going out on a loot run and getting supplies, nearly dying, you come home and you just get to experience the luxury of having something somewhat normal. And it feels sort of meditative to give you a break from all the chaos of everything else happening around you in the game. And then there's the aspect of death in Zomboid. Because in most games that aren't roguelike games or survival games, when you die you can just go to your last checkpoint and start again from there. But with Zomboid it feels different. It doesn't feel like a roguelike game or a survival game or anything else like that. It feels weird and only real and grounded. You can start a new game, make a new character, and do everything you did in the last run the same, and you'd end up dying in the same way. Or not, because things change in the world keeps moving. It's interesting because it feels like it's not a lot of the world that is randomly generated, or just, you know, things just changing positions randomly every time you load up a new save, but it feels like random enough where each new run you have, you can still see the same consistencies that you saw in the last run, and even see your previous character, but still have things like loot randomly spawn and just other things happen and change slightly. And it sort of shows a sort of passage of time between you making your new character and the previous character, and I guess I like that about the game. Like maybe some items are switched with RNG, but it just feels so unique. From the time of my character dying to making a new character and starting a new save, nothing much changes. So when I create a new character, what I like to do is I put myself in a totally different mind space of how I want to play the game, making a story and personality for the character in my head and trying to make decisions that they would make. It sounds crazy, but I guess it's fun for me. The sort of open survival world of Zomboid kind of allows you to express yourself through how you survive, and sort of shows your own dynamic survival philosophy depending on how you make your character, the occupation and the skills and other things that you do when you make your character. But I also kind of feel like there's two sides to Project Zomboid that I haven't seen anyone talk about. Sometimes depending on how you see or play the game can feel like two completely different games in different genres. The game has this sort of versatility that can cater to a big audience of people and also offer wholly unique experiences, while at the same time at its core it's just a zombie survival game and our minds just fill in the rest of the blanks left for us to explore. And adding on to that, there's a ton of crazy mods made by so many people for this game that can absolutely shift the entire tone of the game and give it such a great and unique replayability value that isn't really matched by any other zombie games out there. Well, at least not like this. Even with the lore and story and such, you don't know how many comp videos I've watched on the kind of speculative lore of Project Zomboid and the people of Knoxville. Like that one pastor and his message, which Tom made a video on, and the other video about like the helicopter event. I don't remember them all, but I'll just show them on screen right now. But this game just gives so much space for you to be creative and to enjoy the game in a lot of ways. You can make a whole story-driven series with the game and post it on YouTube. You can do crazy survival challenges in the game. You can go online and try and survive with your friends, or just install mods for various different crazy purposes in the game. Or you can be like me and just play the base game single player and enjoy the solace that you get from surviving on your own and enjoying the quiet, eerie and empty world around you, only filled with the animals that are still alive, the zombies that are roaming, borderline schizo from hearing the gunshot event and being paranoid about the helicopter event. It's like losing your mind, but in the most fun way possible. With all that being said, thank you all for watching, and I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to subscribe, like the video for more videos like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.